baboons have found that humans are easy pickings. They don't seem to respect us. People are being raided by wild animals.
They literally are criminals on 4 legs.
They're like gangsters.
It's a carjacking.
Oh, shit! Hey!
Baboons are dangerous animals.
The Cape of Good Hope in South Africa is a majestic place. Home to an abundance of wildlife. Home also to humans drawn by its beauty. And in the hills above the suburbs live their neighbours, the Chakma baboons of Cape Town. It's been their home for 1 million years. But the baboons are being squeezed out.
Go! Go!
Now in the far south of our planet, it's Planet of the Apes, as the baboons fight back.
You have individuals jumping into homes, their gardens, quickly going through, scouting out for the easiest food, and then cascading all the way through the suburb. They can be spread over half a kilometre.
Professor Justin O'Ryan, head zoologist at Cape Town University, is attempting to solve an escalating problem. Some 475 baboons live on the mountaintop, and their numbers are growing.
That picture there summarises the problem of Cape Town humans and baboons. Baboons want to come down, the people don't want them in, and that really is the picture of conflict here on the peninsula.
Down below me is the rising tide of urban sprawl. Above me is all that's left, hardy, arid scrub. For a baboon to find food naturally here might take 6 hours, but to fill his belly and find a day's stash down there might only take a few minutes.
When a troop is looking to go into an urban area, the first thing that you do is you get a lot of surveillance. There's no other way of saying it. They sit on a rock and they watch. And they'll see something down in the village that gets their eye. And they learn to understand their landscape. They know that house has got fruit. They know that house feeds their dogs outside. They know this place is bad with their litter. So there's a lot of what goes on in there the baboons are very aware of and take advantage of. He can run from 150 metres away, so the people aren't even aware that the baboons are there. He's assessed the scene, runs straight towards the car. The people scream. The baboon opens door and climbs into the car with people inside. That is audacious. That element of surprise is all to the baboons. They win, hands down, every time.
Oh, shit! Jesus. And this is what the fuss is all about. Look at this. It's almost human-like.
Perhaps that's exactly why they are so difficult to deal with, because it's the very traits that have made us successful that have made them successful. It's their agility, it's their perseverance, it's their patience, it's their trial and error, their willingness to try anything and then conquer it.
I've just been jacked. They've taken the CDs, the GPS, 2 bottles of Coke, and they've just finally got into this bottle of water, and it's all happened in a matter of minutes. You can see just how much damage they can do in such a small amount of time. How bold are they?
Bold enough to mug a person, particularly women and children. You have children who are being traumatised, children who are too scared to play in their own gardens. I regard that as a dire state of affairs.
He's been for psychiatric treatment at the age of 2. He was alone in the house with the maid, and the troop came through there. Till the age of 11, 12, 13, he used to sleep next to my bed every night, and he'd put his little arm up to feel if I'm still there.
There's one right there. You can see how big he is.
Isn't that the one that's always been breaking in our...
Go quickly, shoot now, Jared, shoot.
This weapon is a paintball gun. It won't kill, but it does hurt. With weapons like these, it might seem that humans have the upper hand, but sharing 92% of our DNA, baboons are proving intelligent and cunning combatants.
and they're so clever. They are far better spies than we are. What they do with this, to get this open, he would bang against the window like this. But this will pop open, and they'll open the window and send a small one in. The small one will get in and open this one, and for the rest of the troop to get in.
Ray Reich's place has been raided 5 times. The last time he filmed the aftermath on his mobile phone. His home was trashed, every room covered in faeces and urine.
They know that they are trespassing, they know it, and yet they are still doing it. And that perhaps is what we find most troubling, is that they don't seem to respect us.
I'm lying on the couch having an afternoon snooze, and he's in the door. Then I got trouble. That's what happens. He's in the door, a big ball of steel wool bouncing in my front door. He's heading for my fridge. My last $100 of food, he wants it badly.
Pierre de Villiers and his family have lost count of the times their home has been invaded, and they feel helpless.
The law is against us even touching them when they come into our house. We are threatened with prosecution if we injure a baboon in any way, and yet they come in and they'll steal what food we have. I'm a man. Shit, I've got a family to protect and feed. I can't just let a bunch of monkeys run around all over me.
So what do you do then?
What do? I fight him. I fight him. I grab whatever I can, preferably something to throw at him because I want him further than arm's length.
These bullets don't hurt. I mean, it's not going to kill them. So, Jared, just shoot this thing quick.
He's gone.
You're having a defense.
When we x-ray the baboons, there has never been a single baboon that doesn't have pellets or bullets or birdshot in them. In some cases, what the x-rays show, a variety of weaponry has been fired at the baboons, and it never solves the problem.
Jenny Trethowan runs the rescue organisation Baboon Matters. This baboon called Penny is being prepped for surgery after being deliberately run over. She later died.
It's back to old thinking that if you just hurt the animal, cause it some pain, it'll learn its lesson and then stay away. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. You've stung them for a while, but all they're going to do is look for the person who's got the paintball gun. He'll just learn to look for you and see, have you got your paintball gun today or haven't you? And then if you have, he'll be sneaky, or he'll avoid your property for that day and he'll come back the next day.
But in this battle, the baboons aren't without their own weapons. Sharp teeth, sharp claws, and even sharper minds.
The baboon plays a very good game. You run at the person with intent. And if they hold their ground, you veer off and no harm done. But invariably, you see a baboon running at you, a big male, and you stop, and then you know what he wants. It's this thing, and you drop the bag, baboon learns. And then that gets positively reinforced.
Are they dangerous?
Definitely.
No.
What scares me is that he's going to do damage one day. In other words, he's going to kill a child or kill a woman, and then what? Then we're going to find a neighborhood of people that's going to run around with real guns and then take these things out.
All right, guys, I think the baboons are going. I think we have to make a line. We don't want them to hit that top houses up there. Asana, go.
The men with the almost impossible job of stopping the baboons entering the suburbs are Cape Town's Baboon Police. They're led by Johan de Plessis.
Our priority is to keep the baboons safe, and the only way of doing that successfully is keeping them out of suburbia.
Every day they try to hold the line as the baboons charge down the mountain from higher ground. Johan and his team try to get them to stop, and the baboons ignore him.
The idea is to keep the baboons outside of the houses. They go there and they've got such a drive to get there due to the amount of food. Humans live wastefully, and our rubbish is their cuisine at the end of the day, and they go for that with all of their life just to get that food.
It's a costly exercise and it seems to be having little effect. The baboons can outrun, outclimb and outjump any of his men. They simply outflank them. So now the thinking is turning to even more extreme measures.
What's the solution as you see it?
The solution is to allow baboons to go as close as they possibly can. In other words, maximize their use of the land that they used to have access to, but that they still can't do that last 10-meter dash into town. So, for example, we know of certain areas in Cape Town which have vineyards. Now, it doesn't get better than a grape for a baboon, and yet they've never been raided by a baboon. And the answer? Electric fence.
Others want them cold. But not all voices are vengeful. In this war, some are calling for a truce and a hope that with a little goodwill, there can be peaceful coexistence.
We're all primates. People should just realize that there's no point being angry with the baboons. The baboons are just going to carry on doing what baboons do. You can change. I love each and every one of them, and they stole my heart. And a primatologist friend of mine many years ago said that once you go baboon, you can never go back. So,
And you've gone baboon.
I've gone baboon.